This is Steve from the NSAF, and we are here with Morgan Smalls, our Team NSAF member from Cuba last year, two-time both indoor and national outdoor champion of the high jump for us in 2019, and obviously a huge contender to do some fantastic things at indoor nationals before that ended up shutting down. Morgan, can you take us back to mid-March and those last couple of days before indoor nationals, and when did you find out that we weren't going to be able to have the meet, and how did you change your travel plans at the last minute?
I remember I was downstairs and I was like just hanging out with my mom, and then I was like scrolling through Twitter, and then I saw the tweet and I was like, is this fake? And I kept looking at it.
Wow.
And I texted some of the other kids from Team NSAF when we went on the trip. We're like, oh man, because they canceled it. Like it was like midnight when they canceled it, and so my mom was like frantically making phone calls. They got very hectic, very fast.
But then in the days that followed, at what point did your school, your school district decide they were going to shut down, and did you end up going to virtual classes after that?
Well, it took our school because they were still going to send us to school. No, wait, it was like Wednesday, and we still had school that Thursday and Friday. But like my mom didn't want us to go, so I just stayed home. And then they canceled school on Monday, and then they started the virtual classes. But then we had spring break, so all of that was still going on. But then the county that my school's in, they did this thing where like seniors, they were passing their classes as of March 13th, and they don't have to attend them. So I just stopped going.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So now have you had graduation yet? Have you had some kind of graduation? Pardon me?
I graduated on June 12th, so it's nice.
Oh, okay. Are they still hoping that maybe they can have some kind of in-person graduation?
I think they're going to do like a virtual graduation, and then we like go to the school and do like a drive-by type thing to pick up our diplomas.
Oh, okay, okay. And, obviously you were in fantastic shape before indoor nationals, and, you had an amazing season, especially that 42-foot, 10-inch triple jump you had in Virginia that got to see in person there. And on the other hand, I know in the high jump you hadn't really quite reached peak form yet. You've done some 6-foot jumps, and I know you were just looking forward to that level of competition that will push you to really have a big jump, 6'2", 6'3", or better. So kind of what did you do with that fitness after things were called off, and what has training been like in the last several weeks for you?
Well, considering we didn't have tracks or anything, I continued to work out in hopes that like we would be able to eventually have an actual spring season and like outdoor nationals could possibly happen. I've just been continuing to work out and do what I can without a track. So I've been outside, running in the road, running routes and stuff like that.
Have you been able to consult with your coach at all and talk with him about things to do?
Yeah, he'll like send out a Google Doc with like workouts for us to do, and I'll do those, stuff like that. And he'll call sometimes and see if I'm like keeping up my workouts, stuff like that.
And you mentioned a tough, when we were off camera, a tough situation about tracks in North Carolina. I guess they're all still closed, so you can't actually get on a track and jump at all?
No, I haven't jumped since like March. So it's been a minute since I've jumped. It's been a very long time. But
that's got to be so frustrating. It must be like, I bet you just physically miss it, don't you?
Yeah, I do. So, I mean, I've just been a whole bunch of running, and you can do like I can still work on my approach and stuff like that, but I can't work on like actually jumping at a bar or anything like that, or into a pit. So it's like a little like a big adjustment, but I mean.
Have you thought of trying to find anybody, any coach or anybody who might be able to, put together a makeshift pit for you to jump in, like set it up in your backyard or something?
Yeah, there's like a school up the street, and there's like a playground, and there's this like a sandbox, but it's not the same.
Yeah. Wow. Well, tell us a little bit about your decision to go to USC. I know you had a lot of schools that would have loved to have had you attend, and USC has an incredible program. Tell us a little bit about that process for you.
Well, the recruiting process, like overall, was very fun experience, being able to go to all the different schools and meet the teams and the coaches and kind of see what the college life is like for like those different athletes. But Southern Cal stood out the most to me because they seem very driven, and the way their team like gelled together and how they all kind of like stayed on each other's heads about pushing themselves to do better, like both in the classroom and on the track.
Okay. And I guess as far as this spring and summer, you're still hoping that maybe, the tracks will open up, you can practice a little and maybe compete in one of our virtual meets or maybe even nationals if we're able to have it in Greensboro?
Yes, hopefully it's in Greensboro. I saw something about you guys possibly putting in like South Dakota or something.
Yeah. I know South Dakota sounds weird, but the stadium there, the facility is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's very much like the stadium in Greensboro.
Yeah. Yes. But I'm hoping that they can open something to where I can get on a track because I'm tired of running on concrete.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna pull up a photo for a second here, and switch the camera so we can see it. If I can figure out how to do that again, like I did the other day.
Okay.
There we go. Share screen, and unfortunately, I just realized that you had already left when this picture was taken because you had.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you've seen it. Tell us about your memories of being with all these kids, how much you've kept in touch, and tell us a little bit about your experience in Cuba. And I guess what was your first international meet before a summer that included some other special opportunities as well last year?
Going to Cuba, I met a lot of great people, like I see in this picture. Like, I keep in touch with a lot of them actually. We have a group chat. We kind of check in every once in a while and see how each other's doing. And throughout like the outdoor season and indoor, like we still continue to talk to each other. It's a great group of kids. I really enjoyed the trip. Like, it was very fun. Oh, good picture.
And then last summer, of course, you got to go to Peru, right, with the Team USA senior team. That was definitely an unusual situation because here in junior nationals, I know you really wanted to make that team as well, and you didn't have one of your best days in Miami to qualify for that. But then you got to go to the senior meet and experience a whole new level. I know we talked about that a little bit in Virginia last year, but tell the folks here now what that trip was like, being with senior level athletes, and did they make you feel welcome, and what was it like competing in that meet?
They almost definitely made me feel welcome. They were like, it was like a different level because I'm so used to competing with like other high school kids or like college kids, but then when you're like with like the pro level people, it's like they treat you like differently. It's not like a bad different, but they just kind of treat you like you're grown. Like I wasn't treated like I was a kid. I was treated like I was one of them, and it was like really cool to get the experience. And going to Peru, I mean, when I went, they were in like their winter or something like that. So you're thinking, okay, I get to go to Peru and it's gonna be all warm, and it was like cold and rainy. But like, but you can just pass that, and it was pretty fun. Yeah.
Well, when you look back on your memories of the past few years and competing at the highest level, what are going to be some of your favorite things? Maybe some that people would. Pardon me.
You skipped a bit, like in the question, I missed it.
Okay, I'll start that over. So when you look back at the last couple years of competition at the highest level, your NSAF meets, junior meets, and everything else, what are some of your and state competition, of course, winning all those state titles, what are some of your favorite memories that, things you'll never forget that you want to, keep in your memory as you move on to USC?
I say my favorite memory that I take from like my whole 4 years of high school would be indoor nationals in 2019. Like the high jump, when I jumped to 6'3", like the energy and everything, it was like really like vibrant and loud. It was just like something I would like really remember for a very long time because it was very fun. It was just,
that was one of those rare moments too where the attention of the whole arena was focused on the high jump. You didn't have to compete with other events.
Yeah, like running events. It was kind of like there wasn't running events going on. It was kind of like not a dull moment, but it was just like all eyes, and it was just a lot of tension.
Yeah, and you did a great job with that. Well, thank you so much, Morgan. We certainly hope that things work out and and that you're able to get back on the track and we get to see you either at virtual nationals, so to speak, or at our actual meet. And we wish you the very best as you head to USC.
Thank you.